Hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Juan and Gibbs and Moanne. Hi, Samantha. I want to make sure that the regular crew knows you do not have to. If you have other plans today, if your kids are celebrating you, if you're just taking the day off from life, which is a fan of that's what I always did, especially when my kids were younger. Hi, Michael. If for any reason, I don't want you to feel obligated. I am not here today for a numbers game or a ratings game or a viewership game. I literally just wanted to come on and hold space. And if there were only two of us in the room at any given time, then that's what it is. Like, I know Mother's Day is a busy day for a lot of people. But I figured I would come on here. We can talk. I could pull cards. But I know my regular community, and I don't want anyone to feel like you have to be here. But, I'm without my mom. Cried a little last night. And that's newer for me. Hi, Kina. Hi, Flower Beauty. That's newer for me, but I have friends who lost their moms 10, 15 years ago. It's still rough. And there are people who their moms are here and they don't talk to them for whatever reason. And there are people who Mother's Day is hard because of their kids. So I just wanted to be here and hold space, have any conversations people wanted to have. I'll be on here for a little while, and then I'm going to go on to TikTok as well, just because that seems to be a whole different community that I have on there. Some of you are intersected, some of you are not. How's everyone doing today? Hi, Adva. How's everyone doing today? I know we have a lot of Taurus. I feel like I've been saying happy birthday to somebody that I truly love every day now since April 23rd. When I tell you that my life is so Taurus laden, my real life, it's not an exaggeration. Yeah, I did a live last year on Father's Day, and I will do one again this year. Absolutely. Because last year I thought, gosh, I won the dad lottery. And I miss him every day. But there are people that have their dads here and their dads are not in their life. And that's kind of present on both ends in my home. So I thought, my gosh, it can't just be us. Yeah, it just even on like my personal Facebook, people I've known for years, I think I have 3 or 4 friends that this is their first year without their mom. And then I have 4 or 5 friends that their mom was their bestie, and it could be a decade, but they are missing them. Yeah. I remember my first holiday after my divorce that I did not have my kids, and it was a yawning chasm that no one else could fill. So like I said, there could be tons of reasons. You could have a mom where the relationship is just challenging and you can love them, but for whatever reason you're not in contact. That happens more often than you think. There could be a bunch of reasons that today is just challenging. I had breakfast in bed from my kids, and they've been working on like getting the yard ready, which is what my mom always did. She planted flowers on Mother's Day, and we helped. So they've been getting the backyard, which is what I wanted. Great. First day since April. I'm so happy to see you here, Gibbs. And so let me pose this to the chat, to the community. When we have, it's challenging for sure. How do you make space for yourself when it's challenging, either because of your mom or your kids today? And if it's extra challenging today, it means it's probably challenging every day. So how are we making space for that today? Like, I'm a big fan if your mom's not here, and you had a great relationship with your mom, and it's out of grief. I always say love doesn't end, it just changes. And the harder that we love somebody, sometimes the grief feels never ending. So ways to kind of move the energy. I'm a big person to like celebrate someone, right? If the relationship was as, and every relationship is as healed as it's going to be in this lifetime when we lose somebody. But I'm a big fan of like celebrating. And that is who I am. It's my relationship with death, especially with my parents. And I like to do something that day that I would have done if they were here. If you are in a challenging position where you would rather have a different relationship with a parent or a child than you currently do, then I would absolutely encourage some kind of activity today to honor yourself. Because I always say it's much easier to execute a boundary than it is to, it's much harder to execute the boundary than it is to make the boundary. Making boundaries, saying, this is what I'm no longer accepting, is really easy. And then creating those and executing those boundaries, especially the closer that person is to us, that's tough work. So doing something to honor yourself today, some kind of activity, self-love, journaling and all of that is great. But I'm sure as a holiday like this approaches, you're very well aware of your feelings. You've been sitting in your feelings for a while. Of course, getting them out is great. Venting to a person or a piece of paper. This is a space to vent. If you had a parent that, because of their trauma, because they did the best of what they could do with their own stuff and fell short of giving you safety, giving you unconditional love, that there is some kind of fractured relationship that started in childhood, I would totally suggest doing some inner child work today. I always say that video that's pinned to my channel, it's at the bottom of every email signature. It's in my link tree, is there because it's free and you can use it as much as you want. But if your parent is here and you just don't talk to them, or they're not here and you didn't talk to them, doing inner child work, being, reparenting ourselves is something that a lot of us are doing. We have more information. We're kind of deconstructing social constructs that didn't keep us safe emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, in this world today. It's an ongoing conversation, thank goodness. Everybody understands the phrase trauma informed. We understand the phrase support. Those were not part of our regular verbiage a decade ago, let alone 40, 50, 60 years old, depending on how old you are and how old your parents were. So understanding that, hurt people, and that doesn't excuse it. But also making space to reparent yourself is huge and helpful. I'm just reading the chat. If you're rewatching, there's going to be plenty here for you, even if you don't catch the live. And thank you, replay viewers. And if you're just joining us, we're just having a conversation about what it's like if you are grieving a parent today, if you're grieving a child today, or if you are in a fractured relationship for your own best health, with either a child or a parent today, a mom today. And I welcome you to jump in the chat. You can vent. And there's like no judgment in this space, because fuck judgment, fuck shame, fuck politeness when it doesn't keep us safe. So if there's something that you need to say, or you want to say, or you feel like you need to get it out, certainly if your mom was unkind, if your mom doesn't accept who you are, who you love, any of that, this is a safe place to say that you're the one that cut off a parent, and no one here is gonna judge you. Sometimes that's the tough thing on Mother's Day for certain people. It's watching other people celebrate a relationship they never had. It's absolutely tough to grieve a mom on Mother's Day. I think it's we can't measure. One person's pain doesn't outweigh another person's pain. And I think that grieving a relationship that never was is also very tough today. Quiet reflection of the good things you used to do together. Yeah. And if you can do any of those, like on my mom's birthday, I go crazy in the backyard. Because that she loved. Her yard time, she loved. She ended up retiring in Florida because she just wanted to be near the outside. And so everything was about bringing the party outside, kind of. So on my mom's birthday especially. So I do it for her. There was, planting a big flower pot with like cascading flowers. She loved that each would bloom at a different time. So then that would be like a everlasting flower pot for the rest of the summer. That's something I do on my mom's birthday. I'm gonna ask anybody if they want. Your mom passed many years ago. Absolutely. She's probably not just, okay, so that's beautiful that she's looking over you. We can access, especially energetically. First of all, everyone has gifts. You can access, hi Stacey, my love. You can access the energy of your mom at any time. Love doesn't change. Love doesn't end, it just changes. How we exchange with them changes. It could be something as simple as using a piece of jewelry that was theirs and using it like a pendulum, asking them questions. I sit and breathe. I expect to get a little teary-eyed today, but I often just sit and breathe and have conversations with them and use the pendulum to ask them questions. It is both for me. I do the daughterly thing this morning and came home. I don't have that kind of relationship with my mom. I have boundaries with her and I love her. Yes. So let me talk about 3 things and then I'm going to just start taking questions so I can pull cards or during that Mercury retrograde, which absolutely sucked ass for me. I lost all of my astrology at a called a software company, and after a week we had no other choice but to uninstall the application and then reinstall it, which meant I lost every ounce of data that I had on anybody for the last 5 years. For that application. And sadly, the application I used before that one also glitched, oh my God, 3 years ago. So I don't have everybody's like hanging out. But we can also just, if you know some of your placements or your rising, I can look at. I know everything in the sky very well right now, so we can talk about that as well. But first, I want to talk about 2 things before I start taking cards or astrological questions. And that is, one, we can go over how to use the pendulum to just like talk to a crossed over loved one. But today we're focusing on mom. And the other thing before we do that I want to talk about is one of the things that we have adopted in this household is, which I learned from a client, Marilyn, oh my God, 20 years ago. I had said to an employee at the time where I owned a business, I love you, but if you do that again. Kidding, like in a very like not threatening way, but like, I love you, but if you cannot put pins in your mouth or whatever it was. And she said, I just want to offer up the idea that when we say, we don't say I love you, but we say I love you and. So it's I love you and also. So in this house, probably drives them crazy, but I don't allow my kids to say I love you, but, because everything before the but is bullshit, right? And we don't really feel that way, but it sometimes when you're saying I love you but to somebody, they don't hear anything. What they hear is it's very conditional. And depending on who you're talking to, we're allowed to have boundaries. I just encourage strong boundaries, right? But if you're talking to your kids, if you're talking to your partner, I love you but has become such a colloquialism. It's become such a regular everyday phrase for everyone that I'm just going to offer up and encourage us to try out retraining your brain to say I love you and also. Because we're not negating. Because what we're doing with the I love you is making the intent usually is to make somebody feel comfortable and safe in the love you have for them before you give them a criticism, a redirection, whatever it is. But I love you, but actually sends a very mental, switch of I love you, but it's conditional. And if you're talking to somebody, maybe you don't have abandonment issues. Maybe you don't have hypervigilance because you weren't safe, you weren't cared for, you weren't defended in a way that a child should just absolutely have in those formative years. Good morning, Tina. And so you could be talking to somebody possibly that has some of those issues. And so as soon as they hear the but, their nervous system has just gone into, it's dysregulated. It has gone into fight or flight, and they're not really hearing you anymore. They're hearing, I'm not good enough. Of course, I fucked something up again. So I love you, and also is what I'm offering everybody today, to just kind of try to maybe slip into their language, just the same way that I want to breathe abundance and self-love into my conversation with myself. Really good at doing that with other people. It was myself that was the problem. So I don't say things like FML. Of course this would happen to me. Story of my life. All of those have been taken out of my vocabulary. I don't say them. I don't say things like, I'm broke. I don't say that anymore. Even if I have very little extra to spare for some kind of like, I'm exhausted or I don't feel good, like this week my back was out, it would have been nice to be in a place to just like order out all week, so that just wasn't an issue because I could not cook anything. But I still won't say I'm too broke to fill in the blank. And I don't say I love you, but, because we hear ourselves when we talk. So if we say that to somebody else, we know that it exists. Hear me out on this. If we say I love you, but to somebody else, a thief thinks everyone steals. Then we also adapt that into our sense of being lovable and acceptable as is, just as we are. So it's not only what you're saying to somebody else, and if that triggers them, if it doesn't, if they feel like the love is conditional, if they feel like the I love you was a throwaway comment so that you can insult them without feeling bad, because that's what a lot of people think I love you but is. But you are hearing yourself. You are hearing yourself. So it makes room, not for boundaries, but for everything to be like on eggshells of the acceptability of your presence and your lovability in someone else's life when you say it to somebody else, right? As below, as above, so below. What's good for the geese is good for the gander. I mean, this is just the way human brains work. So when you're saying that to someone else, you're also saying, you could be this close to losing the acceptance of somebody else you love. And you know what? That happens in real life because of other people's stuff, because other people aren't good at accepting, or there's a non-negotiable boundary crossing. So having a conversation with somebody about what boundaries are is much healthier than walking around on eggshells. And I am sure anyone who's hearing my voice right now doesn't say it ever to anyone to make them feel like they're walking on eggshells, or that the I love you part was the throwaway comment. I'm sure that's not what you're doing. I just want to offer you like how that falls into the brain, into the human brain, and then how it falls in the nervous system, and also how it affects us. Our words are the nails and hammers that build the architecture of our self-esteem every day. And what we say to other people, we allow space for ourselves as well, coming back at us. Does that make sense to everybody? I love you, and also, it probably took me a good 3 years to stop saying the but part. Okay, I'm just gonna go over a pendulum. Pretty, not too fancy here. We're gonna go over the pendulum. I'm gonna use the black one because it's gonna show. I'm resting my arm. I just have it between my two fingers, and you can use, I have a pendulum that I use for myself privately. That's my mom's wedding ring on a chain. I have my dad's ashes in a heart locket on another chain. You can use anything. You can take your mom's earring and put it on a chain. You can take string and put a piece of jewelry or anything that belonged to a parent and make a pendulum. It does not have to look like this. It does not. It's the energy of it. The first thing I would do is just take a deep breath. Think about how much you love them. For me, the religion I practice is love. My higher power is love and a one consciousness, right? So it is my belief system, no matter what your religious beliefs are, no matter who your higher power, like I always kid around, you could say God, Jesus, Buddha, universe, spirits, Care Bears, whatever works for you works for me. It won't matter. It's the higher power that you speak to. And I would just sit in so much love of the crossed over loved one that I want to speak to and have speak to me through the pendulum. And because love is one of the things that we carry over. We don't carry over guilt or shame or any of that when we cross. Love. It's the major vibration, right? That's why it's so important to have it for yourself. So I would just think about how much I love that person, and I would ask my guides, like I would ask universe, like, please connect me to my mom. And then I would ask a calibration question. I like to ask two for a yes and a no. And I would just ask, is my middle name Murgatroyd? And I'm getting the back and forth for no. It's funny is my middle name does begin with an M, and it started to go around at first. And then when I finished saying Murgatroyd, it stopped. Okay. Let's see. Do I hate chocolate and peanut butter together? Yep. Can't stand it. Hate it. When I'm on a diet, I buy peanut butter and chocolate ice cream or peanut butter and chocolate. It's Reese's Pieces always at Halloween because I'm not worried about eating the leftover. Okay. So I've just asked one question that I know is a yes and one question I know is a no. And then from here, I could ask, my goodness, what can I ask? Did you see the beautiful flowers that my kids got for me this morning? Yes. Were there supposed to be roses when they ordered it? Yes. Okay, and you can wait for it to stop. Did they get roses in the flowers? No. Is my other favorite flower in there? Yes. I'm not going to say what that is just for privacy reasons. But that is a very simple conversation. Like, hey, Mom, did you see what the kids got me this morning? You start it with simple things. You don't have to ask, life-altering questions. You don't have to ask, transcendent or deep. You can start with having small conversations. But you can use anything that belonged to whoever it is on a string, as long as there's like a little weight to it. Like a feather that they loved is not going to work on a piece of string because there's not enough weight to pull it around. But a ring, an earring, anything, a bracelet, and just get your no and your yes. I've been doing pendulum work for a long time, and literally last month there was a new movement that I had never seen before, because my no swings this way. And my friend Nicole, when she was doing pendulum one time when we were on a Zoom, she when it went this way for her, it meant maybe. So your relationship might be different. It might not be a circle for yes and back and forth for no. But I got this huge, I thought that, when you're a kid and you're on the swings and you're going so high that you can feel the the equipment come up out of the ground. it was going crazy this way. And I had to like ask quite a few questions to figure out what was that answer? What did that mean? So, you know, as you develop your relationship with your guides, your crossed over loved ones, you can do something so simple to reach out. Obviously, if you want specific stuff, then you need a medium, but you can always have everyday conversations with your parents, so that it doesn't feel as distant between she's in another place. Just like if she was, you know, 7,000 miles away, you could still have a phone call. You can still have that conversation through pendulum. I am doing a kind of a, I'm trying to think what to call it. I'm doing a course with 2 people, a tarot course, just to kind of work out any bumps in the teaching style or anything. And then that will be offered soon. It's probably not going to be expensive, but I'm going to focus on it being a relationship between you and your guides, and the cards are just another language, rather than just reading the cards. We're going to do all of it, but that's another great way. But that can be it's almost easier to use the pendulum in the beginning. It can be a little frustrating with cards unless you like have a seriously developed relationship between you and the cards, and what all the little other meanings mean and what cards mean when they're together. So if you're just joining us, welcome. I can see the numbers moving. And we're just holding space and taking questions and talking about how you deal with either a parent that you cherish the relationship and you're grieving, or a child that you cherish the relationship and you're grieving, or the grieving a relationship that you just didn't get to have with your mom, whether she's here or not. And we're talking about redirects and ways to deal with all the different circumstances that could have this day being a little challenging. Does anybody have a question that they would like me to pull a card for? I'm happy to do that. I wanted to pack the beginning of the video just for redirects, suggestions. But I'm happy to take a question if somebody wants me to pull a card, especially if you just want like a message through the cards from a parent. I'm not a medium, but I can absolutely pull a card for you. You can go ahead and ask a question about your grandmother. And if for any reason you see me on here, but like this is not a good time for you for one reason or another, I'll be on TikTok probably from like 4 to almost 5:30. And then I have a session later because today is not easy for everyone. Absolutely, Stacy. Stacy, do you have a specific do you want a message from your guides while we wait for Adva to type her question? Do you want a message from your guides? Do you want like a message from a certain person? Universe, spirits, and guides, call back all my power to me now from anyone using it, with or without my permission. Stacy. Well, I'm not an evidentiary medium. Like, I can't tell you your uncle's name or something like that. I know what my experience has been getting messages that made sense to people. But I also don't like to I'd rather underpromise and underdeliver and overdeliver than overpromise and underdeliver. Okay, I'm going to take Adva's question first since she has it typed. I mean, Adva, I can tell you she's there because they're all there. Did you have... Yeah, I figured, Tim, my love. Okay. Adva, did you have... So everything, I can promise you that they can see you. Especially if you want to be seen. Especially if you open up the connection. And you say, I'm going to go to... I do that quite a bit. Like, sometimes it kills me to go to places and think, oh my God, my mom would love this. So we just say, like, we're going to take grandma with us. And we'll say, like, come on, mom, we're going here, we're going there. You can absolutely go to Qigong and say, you know, come on, Grandma Sandra, we're going to go to Qigong today. Okay. Is there a specific question you would like me to ask her? Because, I mean, I could sit here and pull a card, but I could already tell you that's a yes. And don't forget, they're not going to go over with, they're not going to cross over and keep like guilt, conflict, any of that. In fact, what's funny is often you'll have a great-grandparent or a great-great-grandparent take a turn at being part of your spiritual team. Even if that great-grandparent was somebody that like caused the ball rolling on some trauma because they want to help. Because they don't carry the pain with them. While I focused on connecting to your guides. So is there a question specifically, Adva, you want me to ask? I take a little longer, just so everybody knows, if I'm trying to connect with a specific person and not just your guides in general. And I'm not pulling for general questions. I'm going to take my time and breathe into it and disconnect and connect and all of that. What age does she see you? For some reason, 7. That's the number on the card. Which means if that's... I'm sure she sees you at all ages, but if you're asking her to focus on when she thinks she can help you the most or resolve something, I'm getting the age 7. Possibly something that happened around your 7th birthday. And you can apologize if you want, right? I always feel sorry that I didn't have some of the information I know now about as much as I did. From my mom, I think, like, oh, if I knew this or if I knew that. All right, let me just pull an oracle card from, okay, and we'll ask your grandma Sandra to just help come through for Adva and just disconnect from anything else but the energy of Sandra for Adva and see what we got as a message. It says time for a nap. So what this means is to slow down and spiritually rest, which I smiled because focusing in on you and resting has been something that's come up, of course, in sessions. But time for, like, to worry a little less, that time for a nap is, and I know that's like challenging, especially with an Aries Mars final dispositor, but to just balance the rest with the doing, being a human being and not always a human doing. That's what came through. All right, let me pull a card for Stacy. Wow, yes, okay. All right, and I want to disconnect from everything but Stacy and Tim, if we can pull that in. I also want to take one of these. I'm going to take one from each for you. And then I think Moanne. I will absolutely pull a card for you, Moanne, for your hubby. I feel like I'm getting something very specific, Stacy. And then I see flower. Hi, Maricela. Hi, Will. You're welcome, Adva. I want something to pop all the way. I keep seeing the same cards, so. Wow. Stacey, okay. This card, weirdly, is the card that I got. I'd spent all day in the emergency room with my mom, and she had, I'm going to get a little emotional. She had dementia towards the end, which is why I went and moved in with her. And she was terrified. It was still COVID. It was 2020, or it just had turned 2021. Literally. It was like the day after, I think I want to say it was like January 2nd or 3rd. So there were no overnight stays at this hospital where I had stayed, same hospital my dad was in that I didn't leave for 2 weeks. I didn't leave his side. And he didn't want me to, and they allowed it then, but they weren't allowing it. And she was so upset as I was leaving, almost like a child when you leave them at date. Like, it was very... So I came back to the house. It was like 1 a.m, and I decided just to pull one card from this deck, which is very special to me. And I decided just to surrender to love. and to let like love be the motivation to how to deal with all of this. And I found a way calling the hospital to like make sure at any time all night long, if my mom needed me, she could get to me at least by the phone. And this was the card I pulled, and I'm not connecting TikTok with Tim, but that video was just so marinating in my mom's energy and just that highest vibration of just unconditional love, and using that as a tool to get through something very challenging. And this was the card that came up, and this is the video that was like, it almost has 1 million views. And I swear it's this card. And this feels so, so, so important to you right now, especially with everything going on. It is this gorgeous, lush oasis scene. And it's surrender to the sweetness, Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And with your Taurus placements and Taurus and Venus right now, it feels like just not to feel guilty for anything that you're enjoying. If you're enjoying the freedom, if you're enjoying liberation, if you're like, almost like, this isn't, not almost like, this is absolute encouragement to stop grieving what was or what didn't get worked out, and to completely lean into whatever pleasure and joy, make love to life. And go ahead and listen to the song. If somebody knows the actual title or the people who sing it, I've waited 100 years, and I'll wait 100 more for you. I can't, it's really, really hard. Nothing prepared me for the feeling of being yours would do. I can't think of the name of it. If anyone knows that name of that song or whatever, if you could put it in the chat. You're supposed to be listening to that song. I don't think that's about Tim. I think that's about something upcoming. And I know that you're like, I can't even. I also feel like, is there another baby on the way? Not for you, obviously, but I feel that that was the first thing I got shown. Turning page. Thank you, Moanne. Okay. That's going to represent I feel like that's the next, like, your person that comes in now. When you find them, you're going to feel like, oh, this is what I waited for all this time. And the card, the fates, come out. I feel like I got plugged in. Ooh, Stacey, you make me cry. I feel all of a sudden like my body is plugged in to the wall. There's something coming, and I believe the message from your son is that he does not want you to turn away out of fear, out of anxiety, out of worry of failure, out of feeling like you're not ready. It's a beautiful, beautiful message. I'm shaking. I don't shake a lot. It feels like a cautionary, like don't push it away when it shows up, and that you will know. I know I cannot hit one fucking note in that song, so that is how much I love you, that I just knew that I was going to sound crazy. Turning page is called Sleeping at Last. Thank you. I want to say it's called Pieces, and I know that's not it. it feels like Tim saying, just like, let universe bring it in, let fate bring it in. The first time I ever heard that song, I don't watch any of the Twilight movies. You're very, very welcome. It was somebody who can sing, and it was on TikTok, and they were singing like in an apartment complex vestibule with like great acoustics, and I fell in love with that person singing the song a cappella. But I cannot hit any of that. I don't do falsetto. I have a very low voice. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. He wants you to just enjoy. He feels like it's been enough of what it's been enough of. We don't need to get into that. Okay. I will absolutely take a card for anybody. There's stuff in the beginning too about boundaries, inner child work, what to do if you're like grieving a parent where you cherish the relationship, what to do if you're grieving a relationship that never was with a parent. There's all kinds of redirects, and then there's a general kind of like trauma-informed verbiage, something maybe to take out of our daily colloquialisms, just for the healing of yourself and everybody you love. That's all in the first 30 minutes of the video, if anybody wants to go back. No, because I keep getting this, Stacey, like he wants, like, he doesn't want to see you sitting on the sidelines. He wants you to be, you know, I just put something up on Lee, my daughter, showed me, we constantly call Nikki, let's say that he's part raccoon, but we have a thing about raccoons in the house, whatever. And so she showed me a picture that says, get loved, loser, get absolutely fucking treasured. And I put it on Instagram, and that is like, I almost feel like that's your message. Like, go get loved, loser. Get absolutely fucking treasured. Yeah. Oh, that's how you found it. Yeah. Then I was obsessed with the song in like 2020. Okay. Yep. Exactly. I feel like I have a relationship with Stacey as a client and just as a human, where I can say that, like, I feel like Tim would say, because I keep seeing that picture, and I posted it like a day or two ago, that get loved, loser, get absolutely fucking treasured. Yeah. And don't, like, you're gonna want to resist this when it comes, and don't. Okay, I just want to thank that energy and be grateful to the messages that are coming in so far. I love the Marie Kondo effect on everything. I just want to give it appreciation and joy. You're going to make me cry. And then we're just going to thank Tim and then ask to be connected to Moanne's guides. And for that, I'm just going to take Pendulum. Just because we're doing such in and out of different people's energy very, very, very specifically to very, very specific people. I'm going to go ahead and light new, clearing things. Whoa, that was crazy. Incense aren't supposed to like flame up, but that one did. Okay. Call back all my power to me now from anyone using it with or without my permission. And I asked to be connected to Moan's guides. And her husband's guides. Okay. Should Moan's hubby send a text to his mom today? Okay. Should he write a letter of some sort? Is that sending it in the mail or email? Email. Is it weird for me to say I feel like the text won't get to her and it will create more it'll create more distance, but either a handwritten letter or an emailed letter. And anything about sharing an older memory, like a happy memory, will be well received. And she knows what the distance is about, but she cannot accept it. Like, she cannot take accountability is what I feel. You can let me know if I'm out of line. I don't want to say too much. You might have just been looking for a yes or a no. But for some reason, I feel like if it's a full letter and it references like, hey mama, I was just thinking of whatever, and then it's like she's going to be able to be receptive for a little bit. There's a wall up and it's on her end. You know, it's hard sometimes dealing with the older generations that, like, they were given zero tools. Everything is about shove down, deny, don't accept it. And so it's really frustrating and can be very, very painful as the child of one of those parents. But I feel like knowing I'm going to leave this life examining everything and healed and not taking all that shit with me into another lifetime to redo, because accountability is a conversation we have, almost makes me pity that generation that just cannot and won't. Okay, you sure? All right. But I feel like a text for technological reasons, or because somebody on silent or something, is not going to get to her, and then it's going to create more. It's not going to help anything. But I saw like a bigger body of wording, and then I asked, should that be snail mail or email? And I got email, no on snail mail, and a yes on email. Tina, I will absolutely get to your question. Anyone that's asking, I will absolutely get to your question. We're focusing a lot on stuff around Mother's Day today. Okay. Flower Beauty, did you want just like a message from your guides? If you're still in the chat. Okay, your question is for my spirit guide who predicted. So I want to know what to do. Okay, so you want to get a message about. I'm going to use this deck. I'm going to use this deck for you, Flower Beauty. And then Kina, I have you on deck, I believe, afterwards. Lee, if you're kind of hanging out off and on, if you can just see if there's any, because I keep going back up into the chat, if there's anyone I missed that asked in between Flower Beauty and Kina. I normally have, I was doing automatic writing on a session yesterday, which was incredible. But I normally have a pen and pencil in here to like keep a list, which is, I haven't done this in a while, so. And I don't care if there's only 3 of us in this room. I'm not doing this for a numbers game. I'm not doing it for ratings. I'm not doing it for boosting my channel. I turned all the advertising off for this live. This is truly about support and space and giving back to the community that I appreciate. And if you're new, then I still appreciate you. All right. Call back my power from anyone using it without my permission. And I'm asking for Flower Beauty about her person. I don't think like they're just quiet with you. They're quiet with everyone right now. Flower Beauty. It's a them thing. Ooh. Okay. Let me get clarification on that one. So he's being quiet with everyone. He still thinks of you and he's still very attracted to you. I think he's got his own stuff going on right now where he feels limited. Yeah, I mean, and that happens. Hi, Mika. That happens. What, people come and go, and it doesn't mean the connection is watered down. It just, you know, we're all humans dealing with our shit. Because I have the 8 of Wands in reverse, which means he's quiet with everybody. That's what that's going to mean for this kind of a reading. But the King of Wands is still there. So that energy still exists. And then I got a Knight of Swords, which just means, let me double check. Some decks have the Prince is the Knight, and some other ones, the Prince is the Page. I just want to see if I find a Knight, then that changes things a little. Yeah, that's actually a Page. So he's watching you wherever he can. Okay. Thanks, Lee. Will Flower Beauty hear from this person, wait, hold on, let me finish. Okay, well, yes, I was gonna get a time. Will she hear from this person again before Gemini season is over? Yes, it's gonna be light conversation. So there's still feelings, there's still attraction. It's not so will you guys both reconcile. It's his energy is a little scattered right now. That is about him. For sure. But he thinks about you, and he's either looking at pictures of you, but there's still a lot of attraction. I do think you'll hear from him before Gemini season is over, and I confirm that with the pendulum. I don't know if it's going to open things up. So when you hear from him, it's hard, especially when we connect with somebody and it's amazing. Try not to put expectations. That energy can feel like pressure to the other person if they already are feeling not good enough or not stable enough to offer themselves as a good relationship partner. So just, when you do hear from him, just know that it might be to like keep contact going, but it might not be. That's going to depend on how he heals his stuff, right? And that's free will on his end. But trust me, the attraction is there. That wasn't about you. The ghosting was not about you. I believe he's full on hermit mode everywhere. Okay. And Kina, did you have a specific you wanted from your mom, right? We're going to pull this deck for your mom. Universe, spirits, and guides, I call back all my power to me now from anyone using it with or without my permission. Oof. And I asked to be connected to Kina's guides, and specifically her mom, with a message to her from her mom. Just got a big chill. Nikki is singing the song of his people. I don't know if you can all hear that. Kina, what is your romantic status right now? Hi, Erica. Call back on my power with Kina's mom. Yeah, I don't think for long, babe. Okay. If you saw my face, I was a little confused by one card because... Okay. Kina's mom. Okay. She's laughing. Is what I hear is laughter. Is that you putting things in the work? Or you moving things? Okay. I got the Magician, I got it upside down, which means a manipulation of a situation. And I was like, what is this? Because then I also got the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. So somebody's steady and slow, but this is a happy ending card. But then the Magician was in reverse, and I was like, well, I don't want her to be with a manipulator, and I don't see Kina like manipulating her way. Like, you can't manipulate your way into that. No, I mean, there are people who will do that kind of work for you, but I'm not, that reading isn't going to come to me. That is not my relationship. You cannot get this from this. So I did not understand. And then I heard like a laughter. It's your mom. She's going to move shit around. Whatever. I think I told this last week or the week before, but I had a cousin that was married. My God, I was 4. And my aunt died when I was 10. So for 6 years, they tried to have a baby. What she had barely passed a year. And they had my cousin Kimberly, who was just magic of a human. Like, no person is that nice and that good and that sweet. She is. Just never said no, never gave her parents a single thing of trouble. And we always said that my Aunt Jerry got up there and was like, let's go with this kid here. And put her like magic on there. And that's kind of what they're showing me. Like, your mom is like, all right, let's get this. So I got the Ten of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. So I don't see that being single for long. This person could have some like an earth moon or an earth rising kind of placement. They're going to be slow and steady. They could just have a lot of fixed placements that would make them a Knight of Pentacles. But the Knight of Pentacles, it doesn't rush in. They're not like the love bomber. They're not there for just a good time. They're there for a long time. And I thought maybe I was misreading this, and the Ten of Cups was like something else. Because there's also a baby, and I thought, is there somebody around you having a baby? But not with the Knight of Pentacles. That's for you. Let's pull an oracle. I am not one of those readers. I'm not going to be like, tell you something's right. I would love to have told the person before you that like, oh yes, he's going to call you next week and propose. Like, I won't say whatever I don't get. And I'm more cautious when it is like, here comes your Ten of Cups and your Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is also usually very thoughtful. Sometimes annoyingly slow, but they're thoughtful, mindful people. So this could be somebody that's kind of, I said it starting in 2021 that the divine male section of the spiritual store, those aisles were going to be slowly waking up. And I got into not really beef because I just wouldn't do it. But I was saying, like, I don't feel like all the other readers that are like, oh, the divine male's waking up, they're all going to be coming in and having unions. And I don't, that doesn't make sense. That didn't make sense to me at the time because when you kind of have get into all of this, when you kind of have your, let's call it an awakening. I hate even using that word because it's become toxic. But that takes time. Nobody wakes up in the lotus position, chanting Om and understanding all the secrets of the universe. No, there's healing, there's pain, there's accountability, there's unblocking memories. There's so much more in between, like feeling like ready for a relationship and awakening. One does not just beget the other through its mere start. It's the beginning of putting that first domino down in a chain of 1,000,000 dominoes, right? So, but now, and please forgive me, my lovely, wonderful, awakened male and identifying male people that come into this community, and I appreciate and love you. I'm always very flattered that I feel like I'm at least straightforward enough that I also appeal. to the everyday, you know, men. But it might take a little longer because men are not encouraged socially, and you know, we're changing that. But right now, with the age of grown men, those men maybe weren't socially encouraged to feel all of their feelings. So it may even, so now we're getting to a place where we're seeing so many more men in spiritual communities, online, in communities like this, right? And they want to be like healthy, and they are awake. They understand why people might pick the bear. Like, they're not the toxic man in the chat saying like, rah, 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 the bear is going to pull you apart, you know? So I feel like you're having somebody that maybe like 5 years ago would have thought all of this was big bag of hooey. But now they're doing it. And, you know, the right person will wander into the right community and start looking at childhood healing and all of that stuff. I do a lot of sessions with Reiki and childhood healing and all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of private sessions in my practice with beautiful, wonderful male humans and identifying male humans that are absolutely working on. So there's going to be somebody, but I feel a spiritual person. And I mean, that is not so shabby of a message. Let's just get the oracle from Kina's mom. Single, not for long. Lee was, I think Tina, and then, is it Tina and then Erica? I gotta get out my, oh, did I leave my glasses? No, I did not. Oh. 49. Oh, thank you, Erica. That's very sweet. Thank you. Okay. Kina, this is also for you. A lesson truly learned is crystallized as earned wisdom. You have all you need for success that you seek. Wisdom allows you to recognize traps on the road and familiar patterns that you want to avoid. It also enables you to quickly gather information about where you are on your journey. It helps you recognize your allies, and it lets you know to find the best routes along the way. Now you're at a place where you know the right things to do and the best choices to make. Trust yourself. You really can't commit a mistake. Whatever your inquiry, great fortune awaits for you. You have the wisdom to arrive at the right decision. You've learned your lessons and earned the right to your success. I mean, I think that is absolutely about you not trusting yourself, maybe in picking partners or vetting people who are applying to partnership. Trust yourself. That was crazy. Hold on. Okay, call back all my power from anyone using it without my permission. Okay, Mom, this is for Tina. I know she's driving, so I know you can't maybe feedback right away. Driving, you do have because your mom turns 90. My sister is writing a book about her family in World War II. Okay. I'm hearing right away whether it's finished or not that, and I have a big chill, Tina, hold on. Okay, I already, your guides are some Aries energy. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm an Aries moon, so I'm not complaining. I'm feeling like whatever is done, if somebody could like put it into some kind of thing where it reads, there's programs, there's more intelligent words for what I'm saying than I can muster at the moment because I'm very in channeled land. Even if it's an AI reader, like plugging it into some kind of program. I think even Canva has that now, where it'll dictate. So as much as she has now, rather than trying to rush it, is what I feel first. Will Tina's sister be able to finish the book before her mom? Yes. I didn't even get to finish the sentence. Yes. But letting her enjoy it chapter by chapter, even if it's not finished. But yeah, I think even, I don't know if that's a free account or you have to buy credits or how, but look at ChatGPT, look at Canva, just search free software and apps that allow you to feed it text, and it's almost like an audiobook. Because she'll get lots and lots out of it. Oh, you're welcome, Kina. She will absolutely, Tina, she will love hearing the chapters. And it actually will, forgive me, but it'll be good for her health. And she'll really look forward to, it's like she's engaged. You ever start a book or a movie and like you could watch it over and over again because you kind of lose yourself in the story, but because of course this is based around real life, like having conversations will make her feel lively instead of feeling like I don't know how to, it's good for her longevity if she can start getting chapters now, because it's good for the spirit. Okay, I know you're driving, so it's okay if you don't have, oh Moanne, I'm just seeing your feedback now. Yes, Moanne, I get that. Okay. Erica. Lee, can you just let me know if I'm missing anyone? I'm going to do... I said hi to Will and Maricela, but you guys... Hi, Fifth Element. Well, you're not technically tardy. I'm just kind of holding space and I'm pulling cards for people. And we're just talking about if it's difficult. Also, you want a reading, but I don't have an email from you. So I can send you the 15-minute gift certificate for your reading. Okay. So, let's see. Somebody's call back on my power to me now from anyone using without my permission. Disconnect from everybody but Erica's guides. Oh, Gibson, you're beautiful. I adore you. If you have a question, you can ask Fifth Element. If you have a question, you can ask anyone in the chat. If you have a question, you can ask. This is my activity that I'm doing with my mom today, because she helps me a lot. Connecting energy, getting clarity. She was a little resistant to this for me as a career, and then just fell in love with it, thought it was the coolest thing ever before she passed. So this is my activity I'm doing with my mom today. So the more time that I spend in this energy and channeling, the more time I'm spending with my mom on Mother's Day. Okay. For Erica, will she and her... Absolutely, Gibbs. And I want everybody who's like in a disconnection or feels ghosted or things got to remember that March, April, and the beginning of May, wonky as fuck. Hi, Zoe. Wonky as fuck. So don't, try not to take people, and you know, we had that Chiron at the same exact 19 degrees and 24 minutes as that solar eclipse that was also sextiling or semi-sextiling Jupiter and Uranus and Mars and Saturn. Things came up for people which made them go whoop. Examination and everything. So try not to take that as rejection. For anyone that can hear me right now and is in separation of conversation, or things felt like they were going good and then all of a sudden they just dropped off the face of the earth. Look what's going around. Look what's going on in our world right now. So there is a micro amount of that in everybody's kind of real life. I mean, I spent 3 days crying around that Scorpio full moon. That hit my chart so hard. Stuff came up. I think my back pain is all somatic. My back pain just, it doesn't make sense. I leaned over to grab the doorknob and my back seized. That doesn't make sense. Nikki's like 20 pounds. I pick him up 100 times a day. Leaned over to get a door. One day I was putting my pants on, and the other second time it happened, hasn't truly healed. So I'm just saying, lots of shit's coming up for everybody. So don't take the rejection. All right, now I want a really detailed spread for Erica. That's what she said. About the connection, and then I'll ask a pendulum question, okay? And you didn't have to send a gift, but thank you very much. The super chat, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. I mean, the first card out, honey, is the King of Cups and the Four of Cups. I think you could tell this man a million times that, like, you absolutely do want him. Yeah, he's Four of Cups. He's, like, not looking at it, but I got the King of Cups for his energy. Yeah, and now Four of Swords. Which is the spiritual rest. I think he feels, with the King of Cups here, I think he feels deeply enough where he cannot take this light anymore. And he's maybe overthinking a little bit and maybe a little worried that, like, does she really, really want me? Like, does she really, really, is this like she's all in? That's what I'm getting, my love. Let's see what he's going to do with that. For right now, you just got two rest cards, two cards. So for right now, and the more you can do for yourself and not be in that waiting energy. It's one of the reasons that I always say you can hold space for somebody, but try not to be in waiting energy. And why those two things are different is because if you are truly connected, right? If you are spiritually connected with somebody and there is a deep connection, if you go into holding space for whatever makes them a happy, healthy, whole person, that feels like unconditional love to your connection. That encourages them to do healing, self-love work. If you are in waiting space, that feels like pressure and anxiety, and that can exacerbate the idea that somebody feels like they are not good enough for you, or they are not ready to give you the partner that you deserve because they feel a little scrambled. So holding space and giving yourself as much self-love is going to do more to advance that connection than waiting energy will. And I can tell you this. You could tell somebody in the most eloquent, calm, holding space, beautiful, encouraging way that they are good enough for you. If they do not feel it, you will not convince them of that. They have to get there themselves. I know, everybody probably be like, fuck this girl. I don't like that at all. Doesn't mean they won't. They can. They will. But energetically, everything is felt. Whether it's consciously or subconsciously. And another place, energy is felt. Yeah, the shit that has come up. I mean, I know that I have to look at something that probably was partially blocked. I'm not going to talk about it, but, you know. Okay, good. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. He feels a little like he doesn't belong in your world, even though he feels like you belong in his. I just heard that very, very clearly. Let's get the pendulum. Will he reconnect with you? Will Erica's person reconnect? Yes. Okay. There's a lot of stuff happening in Gemini season, so energetically and in the sky. Is that going to happen before the end of Gemini season? Okay, is that going to happen before the end of Taurus season? Okay. I'm getting you will hear from him before the end of Taurus season. And let me tell you something yesterday. Mars in Aries was squaring the Cancer moon. And lots of wanting to act on feelings. At least that was coming up. When Venus conjuncts Jupiter, that's going to be May 23rd. I would expect a lot of people that have been out of contact with people are going to hear from people after May 17th. There's a couple of things. There's the Sun, Jupiter in Taurus. And then May 23rd, we have Jupiter and Venus in a conjunction, both the great benefics in a Venus run sign at 29 degrees, that anaretic degree. That's going to move some stuff. And then Jupiter goes into Gemini. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. We're going to do one more. Not one more question, one more. And just know, I'm going to say this again. I said this before. We have to make room and space for while we are trying and actively changing things one way or the other, depending on how active we are in our society. That's a little crazy. We are changing, right? Gender is a social construct. Men are allowed to feel their feelings, right? But if we are dealing with somebody who has already gone through a lot of early environment and social construct, psychological encouragement to not feel their feelings, then when those transits hit, however they're hitting in a chart, people who have more earth and more fixed energy, it's going to take a longer time. That's just them feeling it. The action might come later. For other people, if their chart's full of fire, you could hear from them on the 23rd. You know, it's going to be different. It's going to be different for everyone else. I get you hearing from him before the end of May, but you can always also rewind. It's once this is done, it'll be, I think you can rewind now, but also when you're done, you can rewatch. Okay, so Lee said, Zoe, message from your guides. Let's get you one of these. Oh, that's why that's like that. Okay. Universe, spirits, and guides, call back all my power to me now from anyone using it without my permission. And I ask to be connected with Zoe's guides right now. What message she most needs to hear. Please make it clear and concise. Oh. Luck and timing, Zoe. Fortune's wheel. Luck and right timing, it says specifically. So that's probably closing up a chapter for something else. Mindful groupthink. Okay. I feel it's probably about a shift in that one situation because we have groupthink here. Mindful. There's a release of something so something else can start. Let's get one more. I know that sounds so generic, but with the group think there, rising above the fray. Yeah, 1,000%. So that is all gonna just, people, remember when I said, sometimes you gotta just sit back and let people tell on themselves. Because eventually, if you just sit back and don't engage in the shenanigans, especially when you're dealing with that kind of personality, it'll take time, because narcissists are their whole existence is based on people feeling bad for them in their victim story. And so, and not sharing to be transparent, not sharing to hold space, but sharing a victim story so that somebody else can be disliked. Those are two different things. And so when you won't participate, I just had this conversation. This is such a group message kind of thing, but I just had this conversation last night with a friend on the phone saying that, like, karma, in my belief system, karma isn't something that somebody else brings us. Like, oh, I'm somebody else's. Again, would I ever wear a t-shirt that says karma's a bitch, hi, I'm karma? Funny, great, sure. Coffee cup, great. But do I actually believe that? No. I believe that it works like this. We have signed up for karmic lessons that we want to learn. Now, that doesn't mean we signed up for trauma. We don't sign up for pain. We don't sign up to be abused. We don't sign up to have tragedies. That I don't subscribe to. But as far as other people coming in and like learning lessons one way or the other, whether those are good or bad, karmic just means it's a lesson. It's a karmic lesson, not like karma, like it's gonna always hurt you. Okay, that's one thing. But it's like this: if you were put on a stage production and you are the lead in the play because it is your life, this is your lifetime, these are your accountability lessons or whatever you want to call them, if we don't want to call it karmic, we need the other people just to kind of show up and read their lines so we can engage and have a full process of a learning experience, right? Even if that's a friend who's disloyal to us or whatever that is, or a partner that's like, but they have to show up, right? If you are dealing with a narcissist, the best thing that you can do is ghost that theater production. Because trust me, it is a theater production. So when you pull back, eventually they're going to have to play that out with somebody else because that is who they are. It's really not about the relationship between you and them. That is who they are. They need somebody to villainize. So when you pull back, they will eventually have to find somebody else to focus on, and then it becomes a pattern, and everybody else that thought, oh my God, that poor person, what that other person did to them, they just say like, oh, this is their pattern. Mindful, groupthink, rising above the fray, fortune wheels, luck and timing. I feel like, Zoe, you may get an offer to do something. There's an opportunity coming up that's either going to break you from that group of people, or and I feel like we said this in a reading a while ago, or there's something that's going to take her out. Like she's going to use up all of her get out of jail free cards. And this changes everything for you. But like you have done beautifully in this situation. It's very tempting. It's very, very tempting to not sit there and defend yourself. But again, if you cannot show up to the production and not read any lines, they don't have a chance to improv and do what they do, because a narcissist that's who they are. And so, please do not feed the narcissist is always my advice, because they've been training for this their whole life, and they have a line ready for whatever you say, however you're ready to defend yourself. They have some other way to come back at that. But it's all, the tide is turning, to say the least. And I just feel like either that person's going to get pulled out of that whole situation, or you're going to get an opportunity to like intern, or there's a grant of some sort. General message for you. And then I think we've been doing this almost 2 hours. I think I will take a little break and eat something before I go do a second live on TikTok. You are all welcome to go hop onto TikTok. Everything is the same for me there. So it's Susie Evolutionary. And I have like 23 because they got rid of they went through all the fake accounts, like fake follows and stuff. So I think I want to say it's like 23.3K. If you go to a Suze, there's like a bunch of them. There's a bunch of fake accounts under that name on TikTok. If you go and it doesn't have like 500,000 likes and 23K followers, then it's not me. Gibson, did you have a question, love? Or a fifth element before I go? I just can feel my need to like ground, drink water, and eat something. But I mean, I have 2 more questions in me. I'm just able to gauge it ahead of time before I completely drain out. Yeah. Did you already write it in the chat? If you could just rewrite it. No, I'm not tired. I slept in this morning. I'm not tired. I just, what I'm saying, okay, you got it. All right, so this is from Maricela. Call back my power. With or without my permission. And asked to be connected to Maricela's guides. They're pointing me to your smile. I agree. Aw, thank you, fifth element. Baby steps. Action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. I swear we just had this conversation, Maricela. Follow your intuition before it even makes sense. Let me pull. What is this in regards to? Yeah. They're just saying your sweet smile. I don't know if that's like having an effect on somebody else. You do have a very nice smile. And it's, oh. Okay, can I just show all of you this? All of the cards are the right way, except for like a couple of them. And this one keeps peeking out, which is my favorite lover's card. It's up there, but the light died, so you can't see it. I need to get some kind of like battery operated over a picture light, just so that picture is illuminated, that our lovely Teresa made that for me. Okay, we have a King of Pentacles. What about her smile? Give me a card. Why are you showing me her smile? Another Wheel of Fortune. Jesus, Maricela, the Sun. Okay, money-wise, great. There's an apology you might be waiting for somebody from, like a female owes you an apology. It's going to be delayed. But also, King of Pentacles, which can be male or female. Wheel of Fortune and the Sun all coming out. So, like, again, this is going to be a good year for money for you. So when that opportunity comes, trust your instincts before you have, even before you have all the other information. And the apology you're supposed to get from somebody is going to be delayed out of their own stubbornness. Hi, Natasha. All right, let's pull a card for the lovely Gibson. Yeah. And you might even get like offered a job. Side gig, something. Yeah, but I feel like some bitch owes you an apology and they're just not giving. And they know that they do, and they may be avoiding you a little bit, or there's something there. Gibson. Maybe connected to Gibson's guides. Why do I see like coloring? I see a big yellow crayon. That's weird. Are you painting with yellow? Are you doing something with yellow right now? Gibson, that's for you. The big... Dear Lord. You're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Keepers of the earth. What else? I want like more of an action card for her. Painting a big yellow painting right now and working on genealogy. Are you kidding? Yeah, I saw a giant yellow crayon, like literally with you with a giant yellow crayon, like bright yellow. And you got the ancestors card. Creating heaven on earth. It's happening, Lumeria. Girl, I know you've been going through it. You're doing a beautiful job. Also, like, letting other people's shit be their shit. I still feel like your art. I wish you could get, like, have a little art show someplace, even if it's a very small venue. Because the guides are all about the big yellow crayon, whatever you're painting right now. They're encouraging it. And the genealogy. That was crazy. Sometimes I don't say stuff because I'm like, why would an adult have a giant yellow crayon? Don't say that. You're going to look stupid. Really, the biggest part about doing what I do is stop being afraid to look stupid, because sometimes you just might look stupid. Okay. Fifth element, just let me just pull a card for you. And then just please make sure you email me so I can give you the reading that you won. I'm not going to give away a reading today because I'm giving away readings all day. Just in case anybody is waiting for that. I feel called to this deck for fifth element. You want to know if you should take, like, go public. I think it's funny, like, TikTok. Ooh. The Hermit in reverse, I think that's a clear message. So that's a yes. Let me get a more detailed reading for that. You're going to not feel safe in all the spaces where you share the, where you share this information. So what other people would be like, oh, tell that to this authority or that doesn't feel as safe to you. Sharing it publicly and asking it for it to get reposted. What I was going to say is right now, TikTok is absolute anarchy in the best way, because they went and said, well, we're going to take it away. We're going to take away your right to coordinate these boycotts, to coordinate whatever you all are coordinating. You're all getting together. You all know who voted how in the Senate. You all have, like, leaked. The Cory Booker broke my heart that was leaked. So, like, we're all being told we're not going to have TikTok, right? I think it's going to change. Both Medium Matilda and Lori Rivers both say, I love when I feel a certain way, and those two ladies come out publicly, because I'm always a little less brave to do that, and be like, yes, because I'm like, if those two are confirming what I already like feel around something, then I feel like I can go ahead and share it. I don't think it's going to completely go away, but threatening to take away our toys and go home was the stupidest thing, because if you're going to squash our follows or what, you took away any leverage on TikTok that you had for us to be polite or well behaved, because I know every time I speak out on what I used to get in views, every time I've ever spoke out about a social view, social cause, social justice, any of that, speaking about like doing the work as a white person or anything around any of that, all my views, right? And I get out of like 200 view jail, whatever. So now at this point, we all know what, like, anything that's helpful or anything that's anti-establishment is being suppressed. So what's happening is everybody is sharing more than ever before. People will repost everything because you're not doing anything to help the algorithm. So now we're becoming our own algorithm. Does that make sense? So like, ask for people to repost, and because that is working more than ever. People weren't as generous. People were more like, well, if you get popular, maybe they won't listen to me. People were less generous with sharing and getting other people's stuff out there, especially if they were a small creator. That's not the case anymore. Especially if you're on, like, you know, I'm not going to say it's the right side or the correct side of TikTok, but if you're on the, like, we will not behave. If you're on the Tom Morello side of TikTok, don't do that. 5 of Pentacles is not a breakup card. 5 of Pentacles is not a breakup card. That depends on who you talk to. You asked me for a reading, and 5 of Pentacles is not a breakup card. Yeah. That's why when I teach tarot, we will not be doing that. I stand by the reading I already gave you, babe. Okay, let me get back to the reading I want to give, 5th element. I just don't want you out there panicking. It's not, I don't see that as a breakup card ever. That's not what that means. My love, I want to get back to the 5th element's reading. Okay. Let me get more details about what happens when she goes public. I don't know what you want to go public about or what you want to start your platform doing social media about, but I just feel like the people are going to be kinder to you about spreading whatever it is, or like encouraging your platform or the content on your platform, than like the actual social media algorithms. I don't feel will be kind to you. So does that make sense? Like the actual social media platforms, almost, I want to say any of them, those won't be as kind to you. You're going to have to rely on other people, and absolutely say that in the beginning of your videos. Like, please watch the whole thing through, and please repost before this maybe gets taken down, because there's a lot of that. Screen record. I'm feeling a lot around that. I'm trying to read what you're saying. Okay, so maybe it is a little controversial. I'm not saying like you're controversial. I'm just saying that, like, you know, it is what it is right now. I love Cat and Boots was talking about how, like, I go on Facebook just because, like, I just take the same video and put it on Facebook or whatever. But going on Facebook with any of this stuff is, Kat said it the best when she said it's like screaming into a void. That Facebook is just so on lockdown with their algorithm. You stand in your passion, stand in what you know. It's going to be a little easier to get that. Your passion is going to make it easier to spread whatever it is that you're trying to say. It'll catch fire with the people it's supposed to catch fire with. Yeah. And then I think we had Natasha. Zoe is your friend. Finding employment for the last months. Natasha, if you're still here, I can pull a card before I go. To see if we can get you any. Yeah, I just got the 5 of Pentacles for the 5th element, meaning like for me that card means different things for different readings. And I got the 8 of Wands in reverse. I didn't even get the 5 of Pentacles in your reading. Yeah. King of Cups was the first thing that came out in your reading. 5 of Pentacles can just mean like what other people see as sanctuary. You don't. But that didn't come up in your reading. 8 of Wands in reverse was what I said. Or was that? I don't remember. I'm so super happy Mother's Day, Scorpio. I'm so in channel mode right now. I'm trying to remember the details. Oh, the 5 of Pentacles, but that's just like he doesn't feel like he belongs in your world, but he feels like you belong in his. That's what I said. And that's what I meant. And that's my relationship with that card. 8 of Wands was for Flower Peacock. Hi, Natasha. Okay, let's pull a card for you and I'm going to pull from this deck, which I like for financial. Okay, let's see. Let's first ask if she's gonna catch a break with the employment stuff. Actually, I think that there's going to be a job that you're well suited for. That almost fell in my coffee cup. What resources are you using, Natasha, to look? Like, are you doing Indeed, Upwork, Monster, LinkedIn, all of that? Although I don't know that LinkedIn is really great for finding a job as much as it is for like networking for sponsors and stuff like that. Thank you for subscribing, Scorpio 1180. Oh, I just remembered that I had made au gratin potatoes and then I like portioned them all and put them away in foil a couple of days ago. And I made a cheese custard, the au gratin. I'm gonna have that on my break. That makes me happy. See, that was like 5 days ago, Susie. Doing something nice for today, Susie. Natasha, are you, there's more online available to you. I know I keep referencing TikTok. I don't know if YouTube's going to like that, but there are pages you can follow that help with like job leads. A lot of jobs right now are training. This is what it is. A lot of jobs are letting go of good, seasoned people because they have bigger salaries, and they're hiring people on starter entry levels and training because that costs less, especially if they have recorded training videos, whatever, than it does to pay big salaries and benefits and perks for seasoned employees. It's not fair to the seasoned employees, but it is the culture right now. And so I want you to apply for things that you don't think you're qualified for. Okay, so do that, but also definitely be looking. I've got the Page of Swords here. If there's a job that like you're perfect for, that you'll love, but you're gonna find it by being all over the internet and not going to the same place that you normally go to go pick up jobs. But I also have cards here that tell me that you should apply things that you think that you're underqualified for. A lot of stuff, because everything is online, a lot of stuff is international organizations is a bigger thing than just working internationally. But there's like work coaches, career coaches, all that where they're just giving away information. You don't have to hire them on social media right now. TikTok is where you're going to get the most updated, because people go on and they make a video in 3 minutes. So like whatever happened that morning is then they're all rushing to compete for their following to give them the most updated information. But there is a job out there that's kind of perfect for you, but you're going to find it looking on the internet maybe more than you are now. And because it's the Page of Swords on like social media platforms, places that you do not think that you're going to find it. But also I want you, Natasha, to apply for things that you don't, because they will train you. And show up with the confidence. What were your placements again? Adva's saying that we're all connected here because she has a child that she works with that picks yellow all the time. And I know Fifth Element said she was just painting a sunflower. You do have Virgo moon. Okay, I was going to ask you if you had Virgo. Virgo sometimes hesitates. I'm a Virgo rising and I have quite a few Virgo placements. Virgos tend to be hard on themselves and feel like I can't do that. You can. You will. I always tease my Virgo clients that like, be okay with celebrating the things that you do well. Like Virgos expect that the only way to say we can do something is if we can do it to the best of not only our ability, but any ability that's ever been in any lifetime, with all the knowledge of all the lifetimes in that specific subject. And that may have sounded like word salad to some people, but I promise you the Virgos are either chuckling right now or going, oh my God, yes. Go celebrate what you know how to do well, which is probably better than most people would expect of themselves. Like other people celebrate their mediocrity, and go apply for things that you think that you're underqualified for, because you're not. You have more value in who you are, what you know, and what you're capable of than you think. Don't look left to right. Like there's also something about your personality that gives you a heads up. And I don't know that you see it as a plus, but I promise you it is. Okay. Scorpio, did you have a question before I bounce off? And then I'm going to take a small break and then I will be on TikTok live where God knows there'll be two people and one of them will be asking a genuine question and the other one will be trying to heckle me, which is always amusing for me. Go ahead, try to heckle me. If you know, you know. My mouth can cash checks. But I will be on TikTok if anybody wants to join me around 4:30. I'm going to stop and eat my potatoes. And we made a marinade last night for my lunch. So, but if Scorpio has a question, I'm happy to pull a card. Yeah, Natasha goes scour the internet and apply for the jobs that you even not sure that you qualified for. I am telling you, the work culture right now is letting go people who have the most experience. That sounds like you. Yeah. I can feel your energy, babe. Go apply for jobs you don't think you qualify for. You care. What Virgos bring in, listen, if, you know, and I believe that it will change. We'll be at a place one day where there will be somebody in HR that's just looking at your astrology. If bosses could, they would just be like, hire all the Virgos. And the reason is, I'm not going to say that Virgos are better people or that there aren't damaged Virgos or people that would do a shitty job, but 99% of Virgos care too much. Not just care a lot, probably care too much about a job that will get rid of them if they can. I promise you, because I'm that person. So like you almost don't need to manage a Virgo because their own inner drive to not fuck up. It's not even to like do the best job, it's just to not fuck it up. Is so interwoven. Due diligence is just running through their veins. If you're a Virgo and you agree with this, please leave me a comment. Good. I'm glad I'm able to help. Scorpio 1180, if you don't have a question, then I'm gonna thank everybody for letting me in their space. And if this day was challenging for you, the first 30 minutes especially of this live has information, redirects, support tools, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I actually have a t-shirt on my Etsy. I have an Etsy store. Yeah, by the way, there's like, I haven't, you know, please watch other videos. I have membership. There's an Etsy store. I have charts with cheat sheets to kind of help explain, because a chart isn't an explanation of your chart, it's just your chart. So I have cheat sheets that come with them, but I also have like t-shirts and blankets and all kinds of fun stuff that's astrology based. And I have a shirt that says I'm Sagittarius and I know things, and it has like colorful flowers. It's very Sagittarius. Sure. You want to know what your guides want you to know. All right. I'm going to take one of these guys for Scorpio 1180. Do you have Uranus and Sagittarius, Scorpio 1180, or do you have Uranus at the end of Scorpio in your chart? Do you know? Yeah, Natasha, go on. I'm telling you, go on like look up groups and look up pages that are. Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but it's the culture right now. They'd rather kind of half use AI and train somebody new so they can pay them, like have less benefits and pay them. But there is also a job that you're perfect for out there. But take advantage of that culture and then apply for something you think that you're not qualified for, because they will, nowadays, they will train you. Scorpio, I'm just wondering if you know off the top of your head, if you know where your Uranus is. It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your Uranus is? No place like home, and I don't think home is a physical place here, and clean it up. Making your making your own sanctuary, whether that's in the home you have now, whether the physical home feels like a sanctuary, but also like this could be a person. So there are things that Scorpio, it's very Scorpio if you are actually a Scorpio, that you have to clean up, because making your own life a sanctuary for yourself is at hand. Right now it's on the table big time. Let me just get by the way, those are flowers in the background from my kids. I'm the luckiest. My 3 and my bonus, whom I love like she came out of me. Yeah, you probably had burnout also because you probably cared more than your job even cared. And I'm going to take a tarot for you, Scorpio 1180. I'm thinking there must be like a big delay. And if you don't know where that placement is, yeah. I'm going to be honest. I'm getting like some kind of aspect to your Uranus placement right now. I don't know if it's opposition. I don't know. That's a big time in life. There's something I feel like Scorpio is really good at like lifting up the rock and seeing what's underneath to examine it. But then they tend to do it privately and shove it down. And keep it to themselves. There's something that can release you. It's almost like you have to like move into something that you've been putting off. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Use your intuition. Clean it up. No place like home. There's a heartbreak. You may have been possibly Libra. Do you know what year you were born? Uranus stays in a sign for 7 years. So like if you're born in like anytime after 1978, I think after all the retrogrades, you're probably Uranus in Scorpio. If you're born then after that, anytime after like 85, you're probably Uranus or 80. It depends. I'm spitballing. It may be that it changes over in 76 for Uranus and Scorpio. But yeah, so the 10 of Pentacles came out for you with the 2 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. So I almost... If you're ever interested in a session, I do rectifications for birth times. We can check certain things. It takes a little while, but it's worth doing because then all your other transits, every time there's a full moon, new moon, any kind of anything, you know where it's actually hitting your chart. And it changes the houses. A lot of times it won't change a whole lot, but it'll change the houses. But I get that you almost have to, yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's almost like you've been avoiding something because you feel like it's going to break your heart and you don't have space for that right now. Like you mentally don't have space for the broken heart. But with the clean it up there, then, you know, if you are Libra, it'll when we go into Gemini season and Jupiter is moving into Gemini, then you're gonna have things aspect, try and have an I love you more conversation between the Libra Uranus and your Libra Uranus and the Gemini placements. So there might be movement for you, but I'm just feeling something around wherever the Uranus placement is in your chart. There's something where you feel like you have to kind of like look at something or break your own heart to like move forward, but I don't think it's going to, it leads you to a 10 of Pentacles. There's no place like home, and the 10 of Pentacles is my happy ending card, and I always tease that like nobody loves a happy ending more than Scorpio, but it literally, the no place like home with the 10 of Pentacles is talking about creating the sanctuary for yourself in your life, no matter what the four walls of home look like. I hope that is helpful. Try not to have, I know it's I'm a stranger on the internet telling you try not to have anxiety around, okay, having anxiety around the, around what you think that you have to look at or like work through, but what's on the other end of it will well make up for any discomfort. And the resistance to what we have to change, or the transition or the astrological transits, is usually what prolongs our discomfort to that transition. Our resistance to it directly correlates to the amount of discomfort we feel going through it. So I hope that is helpful, but boy, what's on the other side of it is absolutely beautiful. If you're in 1980, then you're more than likely, no worries. If you're 1980, then you're Sagittarius. I'm blanking right now. I want to say 69 to 76, and then no, you could still be Scorpio. So if you're at the end of Scorpio or mid Scorpio, then you've just had a Uranus opposition, and that is going to kind of shake things up in life. But what's on the other side of your shakeup, it looks beautiful. And I think that I feel like you've been through enough that it's like going on a roller coaster and being so apprehensive, because you're like, oh, and then when you get off it, you're like, oh, that wasn't as scary. It was just kind of, it's the apprehension of what you need to do, to whatever that is about clean it up, is not as bad as you're anticipating. That I can promise you. All right, all of my community, I love you, know you love you, and I'm going to go eat something, and then if you want to join me on TikTok, I will be there in a little while. It is Uranus and Scorpio, yeah. I'm trying to do the math in my head, because I'm only 4 degrees of Libra, and bad astrologer, I should know like the exact date it changed over. It is late degrees, so you probably are in, thank you, Juan. Sorry, I was just having like a moment of just absolute gratefulness and love for Juan in our community, who is just an exemplary human. And I'm sending him a big mom hug right now. Hi, Frank. Thank you. Or if it's Jen, then thank you. Yeah, I hope you all, you know, honor yourself today. If you have one of those fractured relationships where mom is just not a thing that you got to celebrate, or you honor your mom that passed, or your mom figure, I love you back. Now I want to cry. Honor yourself or honor them, but just be gentle with yourself today. Again, I will be on TikTok if anybody else is just joining this at the end and they're like, oh no, I will be on TikTok in about 30 minutes. And I hope you all are beautiful to yourselves today, and that's what makes your day beautiful. Okay. Bye, everyone.